God! Did it just glitch out? Did y'all see that? Oh man! Good evening, everybody. It's definitely time to rock. Welcome to another episode of William versus the World. This is the only interactive live stream and chat where musicians and music lovers unite. We are on a mission here at the Sepsis page to uncover the truth about the music industry. We are exploring the stories, the news, tech, and social media. Buckle up, everybody, because it's time to learn something on another episode of William versus the World. Oh, I forgot this. Hold on. William versus the World. Why does this seem so quiet? Most of the band is quiet again. Did you hear that? I feel like the band is quiet. Welcome, Swarmies. Welcome, lovers. Welcome, haters. Hold on, let me check this again. I feel like my band is a little... Quality, comfort, and tight. That's nice. Okay. All right, that sounds good to me. So we're streaming on Twitch. Oh, wait a minute. That's a little loud. You hear that? Hello. How's the microphone? Put a 1 in the chat if the microphone is fantastic, or put a 2. Put a 2 if it could be volume down. Put a 2 if you think I should turn this shit down. In the meantime, I'll smoke some trees. I could always count on Chad. Ladies and gentlemen, I can always count on Chad. Sure, I really can. Welcome to another episode of William versus the World. I'm going to stop fucking with the mic. I'm just goofing off. We are broadcasting on, of course, Twitch. Also, the Book of Faces. One of my favorite places. Right on time. We are broadcasting, of course, on Facebook from our band page, the Sepsis page. And I think we are also broadcasting on the tubes of you. But I thought this was a particularly great place to start today because we are on Facebook. And everybody knows Sepsis is a Facebook band. That's right. We're not a TikTok band. We're not a, what do they call it now? X. I mean, we're a triple X band, not a single X band. So we are a triple X band, but I don't know about, what do they call it? Twitter's X now. I think it costs money to even, I think you have to buy a subscription to X in order to go live. So we can't go live there. I'm sorry. But we can go live other places. You just have to have you have to be an adult. So here's the thing, guys. Sepsis really is a Facebook band. We've been a Facebook band for years. Myself and Melissa founded the band in late 2010. And I really didn't know about social media at the time. I was coming from the MySpace era. And Melissa told me when we first started the band that we needed a Facebook. And I thought it was a ridiculous idea. And then for a while, we were known locally as the band that gets other band likes. I think it was one of those, in the beginning, it wasn't as cool to use social media. You know, if you were doing music at the time, especially if like you were a rock or metal band and you were doing social media at the time, it was kind of like, oh my God, they do social media? Like, that's disgusting. Like, a lot of people were repulsed by the idea of musicians, you know, promoting themselves on social media. Hey, it's the homie. I love when Scott shows up. I know it's a real, authentic William versus the World. Scott, I think I tried to send you a moderator because like you guys can moderate the chat. So I'll just do it like this. If you want to be a moderator on my live streams, please send me a message or put up a little bumblebee in the chat, and then I'll get with you after. If you want, I don't care if you see this recording later on. This doesn't go for like Swarm TV or other future podcasts. This is just this particular one. If you want to be a moderator on my program, because you know I'm going to offend somebody eventually, and we will need to throw somebody out eventually. Okay. But that, I mean, and so, I mean, there's plenty of room for everybody. And the cool thing is about being a moderator, like, it doesn't matter if there's 6 of you guys. I mean, you guys got real lives and shit. So, like, the times that you don't show up, you know, if somebody tries to hop me or whatever, I'll have Chad or somebody else. Love y'all dudes. And the women, too, of course. I mean, I have a lot of women protecting me, too. I get it. It's all good. We're equal in here. Equal opportunity employment. Chaz, I'm always here. Yo, I love y'all, man. All right, so, we do a little bit of social media news, too, so I figured, we're the social media band, and we are the Facebook band. So let's do a little Facebook news. And always popular on Facebook is people getting banned. So I figured this one would be fun for everybody, because everybody on Facebook loves getting banned for community standards. So Facebook creators have a new way to avoid Facebook jail. Hey, somebody tag Fran for me. Who else is in Facebook jail all the time? Somebody tag somebody tag Christina Vox. Let's get her in here. Because I know it's tough out there. And really anybody from the Band Together group should definitely jump into this. Because I feel like getting banned on Facebook is something that if you're a true Facebook or social media band like Sepsis, you've definitely gotten yourself banned a few times. All right. So Facebook creators have a brand new way of avoiding jail. I never thought I'd be talking about this shit on the internet. All right. I never thought that I'd be illustrating to civilized people how to avoid jail. I just think that that's a riot. I've told other people how to avoid jail. So Facebook creators are being given a new option that will help them avoid jail. Facebook jail, that is. Upon their first violation and at various times after. In a revised policy announced on Wednesday, social networking giant Meta said that creators who violate the company's community standards for the first time will be offered parole. No, I'm just kidding. Will be offered the option to take a new training course instead of receiving a formal warning. Yo, they about to take y'all to school. Get out of fucking town. Spin you around like the young James Brown. Get out of town. That's crazy. So upon completing the course, the warning will be removed from the user's account. Meta explained in a blog post aimed at creators. Look at this. Remove your warning. The first time we think you broke the rules, we add a warning to your account. It's like a fucking demerit. We'll explain more about our policy to help you avoid restrictions in the future. Here's how we'll do it. Understand the rules that caused your warning. This is a comprehensive approach to social media that we haven't seen before. Normally, this is just guesswork. Let us know what you think about it. We'll remove the warning from your content this time, but your content will not be restored. Yo. I'm a firm believer on not giving people shit that they can take away from me later on. That's all I'm saying. Like in prison, I used to tell them, just take it. Just take the fucking food. Who cares? Take the mail. Take the food. You get to a certain point where you're just like, you know what? I don't give a fuck what you take. You get to a point where you're like, just take it all. I mean, if anybody's ever wondering why me and Melissa kind of don't give a shit about the music industry, it's because we authentically don't give a shit. Yeah, that's right. We actually don't want to be a part of it. It's like kind of our secret power. Like most people that are independent, they have a secret motivation and drive to really be a part of the industry. So like there's people that kind of role play and cosplay and rebrand independence, but they're really just waiting for an opportunity to get in the line, the music industry lottery. They're really just waiting for an opportunity for somebody to come into their lives, into their magical world, and cast a spell, validating them in the music industry. And I think that that is a pathway for a lot of self-proclaimed independents, because people aren't independent because they really want to be. People are independent because they have no choice to be. So people go, I'm independent. But you're an independent musician because you don't have any other choices. So it's not a hard place to cosplay. But given the opportunity, you'd stab us all in the back. I mean, there's a general understanding that, you know, there's an elephant in the room. The independent industry is a $17 billion industry that we're all ignoring. Anyhow. For creators, the change will help them maintain their reach and visibility on the platform, even if they make a mistake. It also follows a similar lightening of the penalty system run by YouTube announced last year. Like YouTube now offers, Facebook creators will be able to take a short educational course to wipe out their warning underneath the new guidelines. Hey, so if you've ever been to the prison, it's like the Summit House. Anybody been to state prison in the 2000s? You got the Summit House on Facebook. That'll scare the shit out of some people. As Meta explains, the updated policy is focused on educating, not punishing. It's like parole is a privilege. It's not a punishment. This is fantastic. And I'm always pointing out how institutional social media. It reminds me of state prison mind games. Like the effects of how I watch civilians and how they're affected by how they use social media. I'm only laughing because it makes me nervous. But if you take a hard look, like consumers and civilians and users, they don't really realize what the product is doing. You know, I'm an entertainer and I come on here and fuck with computers my whole life. And I was here when they invented social media. And growing up in prisons and institutions, I can spot out systems, you know, really easily. But still, these algorithms are made for people that don't know any better, you know. For me, it's like this shit jumps out at me. You know, I have kind of a esoteric way of thinking to begin with. I'm kind of hyperactive. So, you know, you give me a toy like this and let me play with it for long enough, I'll find a crime in it. You know, the effects of how civilians talk to me about social media. People come in my inbox a lot, or they'll ask me advice about social media. Now, I'm recommending to people a lot to go, you know, get help or take a break or find other things to do, you know. The option will first be made available to professional mode users. That's you, Melissa, who will receive an in-app notification that points them to the educational training focused on the policy they violated. It's kind of like when you get when you get like a driving while intoxicated. I've never driven or intoxicated, but I know that in some circumstances to get out of the full range of punishment, people will have to go to school. And I think that this is a good thing. I don't see any purpose of sending somebody to a state prison facility for something like that. I think there's much more of an investment probably in re-energizing and educating these people. In addition to removing the warning from their account, the creator will be able to participate in this, quote, remove your warning training again if they make no further violations for 1 year. Look, you're on probation. Holy shit. I gotta play some music on that. However, if they do violate the policy again within a year, they'll receive a warning that cannot be removed. Oh my God, it's like the mark of the beast. Accumulating warnings and violations leads to the account facing penalties like reduced reach and more limited monetization opportunities. Melissa, are you hearing this fucking schwack? This is fucking crazy. I mean, I don't really give a shit, but I have to be convincing for the camera. The change, as well as the introduction of the warnings, aims to make Facebook a more fun place. No, I'm just kidding. But to make Facebook more approachable to newer creators who may be less than familiar with its policies and rules. So wait a minute. They're going to try to be more attractive to new creators by having parole? This, in turn, could better level the playing field for newcomers and make the platform more attractive to creators in general. I've lost track with what the fuck I'm talking about. Give me some instances where you guys have been. Has anybody here put a one in the chat if you've gone on Facebook jail? Can you put a one in the chat? If anybody here has gone to Facebook jail, can you please put a one in the chat? In the meantime, look at this cool Dystopica shirt. Look at that, huh? Look at that nice shirt. This is for all you phony balonies out here who don't think I'm representing local music all the time. Oh my God, look at all the ones. See that? Go check this band out. Oh, you're missing out. Look at this band. Look at this. So, like, when Sepsis plays shows and we are supporting, I'm going to fix the camera. This looks ridiculous. So, we love the chance to get to support other bands. And I don't just mean on like Facebook posts. I'm talking about like when we play shows, it's nice to not be the headliner. That's what I mean. Hey, let's do it. Everybody cheers. Yay. But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's nice sometimes to not go on at 12 o'clock. I mean, it's nice sometimes to be able to support others. And I'm not being sarcastic. So one thing I like to do is when my dreadlocks aren't in the way, I like to show off that I always wear other bands' t-shirts. Especially when we get a chance to support, I always try to buy the headliners' like newest t-shirts. So like when like when we open up for like Dead by Wednesday, I'm trying to grab a DBW shirt, you know. If we open up for Casting Shadows, I'm trying to grab a Casting Shadows. We don't got to be opening up for somebody to do it. I'm just saying, like, routinely, that's my go-to. I have been known to. So, Bonnie, why were you kicked off of Facebook? Can you give me an example of why you were banned from Facebook? Scott, if you could, the fuck is going on today? If you could, please give me an example. There's my voice. Please give me an example of a time that you were removed from Facebook from violating Facebook community standards. What is the thing that gets people? I've never, you know what? It's been years since I've been in Facebook jail. Come to think of it. Melissa, have you ever been in Facebook jail? I've been to real jail. Put a 1 in the chat if you've been to real jail. There you go. I'll give you something to think about. Melissa, have you ever been to real jail? Melissa, put a 1 in the chat if you've ever been to real jail. Oh my God, Scott, that's so scary. Get the fuck out of here. See, I tried. That was a trick question, Melissa, because I knew you have been to jail before. Melissa went to jail with me to go sing songs for the prisoners in Billerica. Remember? Yeah, we went to go speak to all the residents in their minimum security MSU work unit. There was about 200 guys in there, man. We went in there and probably the best show we had all year. Full. There was standing room only. No, but seriously, we sang some songs for the prisoners. It was really cool, and it was really weird for me. It was like emotional, and man, there was like people crying and people laughing and people hugging. And it was great, man. It was a not only a re-energizing experience for me, but I also think it was for the band and all the staff members there. It wasn't a small deal. It was like it was over a couple hours. I mean, it was monumental to say the least. Josh says 1. Okay. Oh no, Bonnie. I would never want to see you be in real jail. I'm glad, Josh, that you're home with us now. Good. And here's the other thing. If you guys don't want to tell me that you've been to jail, that just means you're a pussy. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just giving you shit. No, if you don't want to tell me anything personal about yourself, you don't have to worry about that. That's my job. I come and tell you guys all about me because it's fun. It's fun! All right. It's probably time for a new story, right, guys? Let's do a story. Let's get rid of this shit. So that's Facebook. I don't even care what they're doing. Who gives a fuck? Good for Facebook. I'm glad that they're having their usual power struggles. Here's one. Do any of you guys sing? Put a 1 or a bumblebee in the chat if you guys like to sing. Oh well, that's really heartwarming of you. I love you guys too. And there's like a lot of like public figures and entertainers and celebrities and goofballs that probably say stuff like that. And I think it's rhetorical. When I say that I love you guys, I have to really think hard before I say it. But I do. I love you guys. Because I refuse to sit here and say that I do if I didn't. I really had to think about that. Because I'm not a fucking liar. Yeah. Some people might like me or might not, but one thing's for sure. I'm not going to lie to y'all. It is what it is. Oh, man. So Scott says 1 for weed, twice for 4 ounces. Oh, my goodness. 2 times for a fucking roach. A roach? Oh, my goodness. Yikes. Oh, but his dad was a retired cop. Oh, my goodness. So, yeah, just because I grew up in the judicial system, in the prison system, people think that I don't like police officers, but I work with police officers all the time. We help out law enforcement all the time. And, Sepsis is a big fan of, like, safety. And actually, to Believe it or not, um, I'm actually a lot closer um, to being an advocate of the rules than people might think. Here's what I'm not an advocate of. I'm not an advocate of telling other people what to do. So what might be good for me may not be good for another person. That's what I'm saying. Like, there are some people that can bend and break the rules. I'm not one of them. I leave that shit up for other people. So this is for all my singers in here. Like Hans. One time I got to hear Hans do some. I mean, it was actually a pretty good cover song of Korn. He did a Korn cover. I think it was like "Make Me Bad" or something. So this is for you, Hans, and this is for you, Songbird, if you're listening and you're still out there. Singing, and I'm not gonna go through this crazy, and I'm gonna try to really go fast too. Why would somebody be contacting me right now? Well, it's somebody saying that they were glad that they listened to me. I'll leave it at that. Singing techniques that all singers need to know. If you would like to learn how to sing, too bad. No, I'm just kidding. If you would like to learn how to sing, there are some basic rules and techniques that will help you get started. Whether you decide to follow a specific routine or vocal lessons, or do it on your own, practice will be the most essential aspect of becoming a better singer. If you do not work regularly at this, there will be no progress. Is everybody listening to me? Here are some basic singing techniques that all beginner singers need to know. And the first one is I'm going to tell you is to turn the reverb down. Melissa, you listening to this? By God, I think she's moved out. Look at this. They're trying to sell me stuff. So if you guys ever want to follow along with this crap, or you want the links to this stuff so you can read it after, just let me know. Okay. Number 1, maintain the voice like an instrument. If you know how to play piano, guitar, violin, or any other instrument, you know there are certain things you need to do to maintain your instrument for longevity and the best results. Your voice is no different. Your vocal cords and diaphragm is an instrument that has a unique tone and range and requires training to get the most out of it and to keep it primed. Like, I need some fluid. For sure. I'm on the podcast right now, but you're welcome to join me. That looks gnarly. That's what I'm going to just start telling people. Watch this. That's what I'm going to do. When people start contacting me during the podcast, I'm just going to invite them. Oh, that's amazing. If you really like listening to me, you should join me on the podcast. Oh, that's funny. And think of it. If they do, they'll learn some singing techniques. Right now, I'm going over singing techniques. It's boring, but it's valuable. There you have it. So, besides practice, it's essential to take care of yourself and use proper singing techniques to keep your instrument in tip-top shape. Especially if you plan to sing any hardcore metal, acrobatic pop. What the fuck is that? Or Straining hip hop? What the hell are they talking about? It is important to not overdo it? What in the living fuck just happened? Hold on. Hold up. Yo, hold on. All right. Let me just read it again, because sometimes it's like reading comprehension. I don't always get it all the time. I got my GED. Especially if you plan to sing any hardcore metal, acrobatic pop, or straining hip hop, it is important to not overdo it. Otherwise, you'll be struggling trying to figure out how to get your voice back. I've never heard of anything called straining hip hop. You might strain to take a shit, player. What the fuck are you talking about? Yo, that's wildin'. Seriously, I don't know what they're talking about. I'm in my 40s. I've never heard that musical term before. All right. Be mindful of your posture and your fucking body parts altogether. All right? Keep an eye on all your body parts. Your stance, your fucking neck, your jaw, your tongue, your lips, your ears, your collarbone. Singing is an emotive and physical process that will involve more than just your vocal cords. If you do not stand correctly when you're singing, your tone, tuning, and performance might suffer. Slumping, mumbling, and a lack of energy are not good for any form of singing. Besides, vocal warm-ups, which are always a good idea, some basic exercise can help get the blood flowing and warm you up for your performance. Proper breathing. Oh, good. I was worried you weren't listening. I was scared. One of the most important parts of singing is breath control, like not suffocating. Even for the easiest sections of songs that are squarely in your range. I can say that for sure. That's one thing I didn't realize when we started first, like podcasting, is like breathing. Because it's not like singing. Like, it's harder to talk than it is to sing in my. Because like singing's controlled and you're used to like being mindful and thoughtful of it. But like when you get excited or you're passionate about something, you might P and B and T your way, and you might be shooting wind past your, there's a lot of different parts to this entire portion of your body. It's not just like, like they were saying here. So like you got parts of your breathing from, parts of your eating from. It's all got to work together, and it all fits together. So like if something is inflamed, it pushes on another part. You really do got to keep it. You got to keep everything in there healthy. So proper breathing technique, the foundation of excellent vocals. Your goal is to get to the point where recording or performing will not take the wind out of you. It's very smart. All right, here's one that I always want to point out to people. This is something that we had to do earlier on a couple times. We're not like really great singers or great players. When we first started, we were just ambitious kids. So, with that kind of mindset, we set out to make ambitious music. And me and Melissa had to learn like what our voices could do. And not only that, because like in our band, the two vocals together make up such part of our sound, I had to learn how to change my voice to sound more like Melissa's. Okay, so I'm going to do a demonstration for you, okay? I hope I can do this right now. So I'm going to do my voice that you guys normally hear on all the other podcasts. So if you notice, like, my voice now on William versus the World is a lot different than my voice has been on other podcasts, right? I'm kind of speaking like from a chest voice, you know? But this is my actual voice. Like, if anybody really wants to know what my voice sounds like talking, this is it. I never, and you can ask any one of my friends, I never talk like this, ever. Get used to it. Just listen to it for a second. Keychains, stickers, bandana, tumbler, CDs, flask, bottle opener, April, Tuesday. Like, knowing your range, knowing your vocal range and the best keys for your repertoire are also important, ensuring excellent performances night after night. You can use a piano or keyboard to help chart out your comfortable range. Understand the difference between chest voice and head voice and how using those different parts of your body changes the tone and the notes that you sing. Then you can start applying vocal effects like vibrato, falsetto, and then you begin to master your singing technique. So, a lot of our most recent music has a lot of my natural speaking voice in it, whereas a lot of our music from before did not. Now, what you guys are normally used to hearing from me is something like this. I'm always usually talking up here, and I had to back up from the microphone so you guys could hear the difference in it. So I'm going to read the next part. So this is the normal voice that you guys are always used to hearing on podcasts. This is the normal voice that you guys are used to hearing, like on Honeycomb and everything else. So like, and when I'm behind the scenes or talking with the band or instructing, you guys are always hearing this type of guy. And this is why sometimes it can be like abrasive listening to me, because I'm used to addressing and talking and speaking in large groups where I'd have to speak without a microphone. So I've gotten used to talking like this. This is also the voice that I use to rap and sing in. This is my rapping, and this is also my singing and projecting voice. It's not quite my belt voice. It's not quite a head voice or anything like that, but this is my voice projecting to people. Now, a lot of times when you guys hear me, you're hearing me use this voice. Let's work. Depending on where you're singing from, or our unique resonant chambers, throat, oral cavity, nasal cavity, the resonance of tone and the ability to apply dynamics will vary to each individual, just like the type of wood or shape of a guitar affects the tone of any instrument. Your body and head will shape and reflect the sound that you create, producing your unique tone and resonance. How you support the sound with your breath and how you sustain a note will also contribute to your sound, your style as a vocalist. And now I'm back to my actual real voice. So in reality, it's very rare, even if you met me at the deli, that I speak in this particular voice. Very rarely do I ever speak in my talking voice. I think only the people that I live with usually get to hear me speak in my talking voice. And of course, now you guys on the podcast. Look, this is kind of like your name, Melissima. See this? Melissima Wolf. See that? But this word refers to a melodic embellishment where a vocalist will hang on to a single syllable while hitting a series of notes. Think of iconic soul and pop singers like Celine Dion and Pueblo Bryson. As you gain confidence and experience, you can introduce this technique to your arsenal. But don't overdo it, Melissa. This is actually something that we never do. But let me think of something in Sepsis that does it. Because I was just thinking the other day where you do this. Okay, like, you know, in Force You to Lay Down, when you say, there's a lyric that says, pretend that I'm not, it's not pretend that I'm not the one that's unfair, but it's the other one. And there's 3 notes in that air. It's like 1, 2, 3. It's like 4 notes. It's like, care. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? I think there's another one that I have you, and you do it so well too. It's enforced you to lay down, and I don't ever, and I try hard to stay out of your way because I can't sing the part well, and I definitely don't try to copy you. I just do one note, fucking beep, and you do all the ooh ah ee ah ee ah. Yeah, so that says don't overdo it. I agree. Actively listen to music, and I'm always saying this to people. And Melissa was saying it earlier today. She was like, it's interesting. You have 2 ears. I said, yes. And she said, yeah, because we need to listen to people really well. I said, yeah, no, I agree. She said, and you have 2 nostrils. I said, I realized that, when I was a child. And she said, and you need that because you need to take in your environment, in your world, double time. I said, no, you make a good point. And then she said, you got 2 eyes. And she said, because it's easy to soak in the world, if you have it in stereo. I said, no, that's a very strong point. And you got 2 legs, so you can get to where you're going, or if you need to make an escape or show up early. And then you got 2 arms, so you can get to work on things, Hell, you even got 2 eyebrows. But you only got 1 asshole, 1 private part, and 1 mouth. So whatever the fuck made us knew that we would need to take in more information rather than pollute and push it out, because we only given 1 mouth and 1 asshole and whatever other little part you got down there. You only got 1 of those, but you got 2 ears and you got 2 eyes and you got 2 legs. So that means that there's more work to be done. I'm always saying, though, that your ears are the best tool in your musical arsenal. It's kind of like cliche, but I've had people ask me, what's the main thing that you use? What's the main thing? I listen. I listen to music and I listen to successful people, man. So much, we daydream about reinventing the wheel or creating something that nobody else has done before, and that's ambitious and beautiful. I don't want to derail you. But I'll tell you, man, there's nothing that just makes you happier than just being and just creating and not having to worry about all that. So, and the best way to do that is listen to everybody's music. Don't be limited. Don't create glass ceilings. In your quest to be a better singer, it is imperative that you actually explore music you love and even dive into tunes you might not. I say this to all my young musician friends, and they probably still don't listen to me. Breaking songs down and understanding what some of the best singers in the world can do will help expand your potential. You may even gain some new respect for singers you didn't think you liked when you try to emulate the techniques and styles that you employ. Cast a wide net. Cast a wide net and listen to a variety of styles as you seek to develop your own voice as a vocalist. And of course, this one is not always easy to deal with, everybody. It can be fucking embarrassing and really hard to ask other people to give you feedback on your singing or your musical ability, for that matter. You want someone to provide accurate criticism, but also not to go overboard and try to break your fucking heart. Like, you don't want to go to your friends and try to get feedback from them. If they're the type of friends, they're going to be invested in breaking your spirit. Those aren't your friends. People that are giving you feedback or trying to talk you out of shit that makes you happy are not your friends. People that are trying to talk you out of things that you love doing and feel valuable, people that are trying to break your spirit, those aren't your friends. When you ask someone for feedback, try to get as much out of them as possible. Just make sure it's somebody you can trust. Recording yourself and analyzing your own performance is another useful means of assessing yourself and recognizing where you sound comfortable and dynamic, where you might need more work. Now, that's something that I can say that I've done my whole life because I've been recording my whole life. I see what sounds like shit, and I try to avoid that. Getting feedback, and especially using the phone. It used to be that we would write a lot of music on acoustic guitar, but now we write a lot of music on acoustic guitar and the cell phone. And I don't mean like apps. We just use the video, and you go on video on your phone, on your regular camera, and you just you talk riffs or talk out drum lines or you talk out lyrics and just record it. And we just that's all we do. That's how we write music now. I just pick up the phone and go, okay. You know what I mean? And that's what we got. That's what we got. Then I go back to the studio and play it. You know what I mean? Then we put in other instruments. Yeah. So record yourself and analyze your own performances. That's a great way to just do audition work and scratch work. It's practically impossible to analyze yourself as you sing. So this is one way to hear your singing with an objective perspective. You guys don't know this. I don't want to put her on the spot or anything like that. She's not a screamer. She doesn't want to scream. There's no plans for that. But earlier on, we tested Melissa's voice doing a broad range of things. You know what I mean? From falsetto to screaming, whispering, rapping. Yes, Melissa has rapped too. You know what I mean? It's just part of the process of us figuring out what she's good at. And she would do I'm not gonna blow her up, but she would do karaoke's of different new metal or some pretty difficult scream stuff, some pretty difficult vocal stuff, and she would try really hard at this stuff. And no question, without the proper technique and training, it's gonna be really challenging, right? But even Melissa on her own, mimicking some really difficult stuff, I was surprised to hear the work that she was able to get done with a cell phone by herself, challenging herself, listening to it back on the cell phone, and then her trying to get the scream or trying to get the vocal. Oh man, it's incredible to watch somebody develop that way. We know some other people that have done well doing this. So the key to becoming a better singer is to practice. Proper singing technique so it becomes habit, so it becomes routine, and something that you can replicate over and over and over and over and over again. What good is a scream if you can't do the same scream over and over again? Online singing lessons can be great, but watch out for the schemes and scams. There's so many out there. Everyone's got a method. Everyone's got some sort of a process or school that they're trying to sell somebody. But nothing really just beats performing regularly, going to band practice every week, singing in the car is great. But I also think singing without technology, we like to call them dry practices, where we turn off all the distortion, or we just use acoustic guitars, or we use the natural vibe of the room, the natural acoustics. So that's how we do it here in the band, and I hope some of that's helpful for y'all. What the hell, Zachy B? Hey, look, Salvatore's in here. I didn't know that. Maybe if I looked at the chat every now and then. Yeah. So yeah, Salvatore's in here. It's my drummer. Everybody go follow his page so he can drum on you. Yep. Thank you, Hans, for coming through. Thank you, Scott and Gio. My homeboy Sean. Sean says, it doesn't matter how many times I'd practice singing, I'd still make your ears bleed. Last time I sung in the car, my passengers jumped out of the car while I was moving. Oh my goodness, bro. The video says, my range stops and starts at the first 8 keys of the piano. Yo, you didn't even get... Well, you know what? You did get an octave out of it. Yeah, Sean says he doesn't sing because he would just scare us all away. I don't know, man. Zachy B, did you tag Zachy B, or was he in here? Zachy B can sing. So you guys don't know, but one of the additions that we're making in Sepsis is we're gonna hopefully put an auxiliary stage mic up on the stage, and then if anybody wants to yell in it or scream in it, they can. You know what I mean? No, we're gonna start. I hope that some of the other band members will help us sing and do some screams too as time moves forward. It's all about practice, man. Like, if we can get together and practice it, then I'm down. I don't like to do stuff that we don't practice because we want to sound good, you know? That's the only thing. Like, we're down for whatever that we can try to practice and, like, get good at. I think that's a big part of it. We don't want to get out there and sound like fools because we're too old for that shit. And, like, you can ask, like, me and Sal, we've already spent a lot of time on stage, like, just like getting stoned and playing shit, or like just getting drunk and banging on shit. Like, we've had many years doing that, and you know, what we really like to do now is try hard to put on a great show for the fans, and try to put on an accurate, in tune, fun show that prioritizes you know, a great event, you know, not just for our band but for like all the bands we're playing with too, you know, having you know, great stage presence and showing up early and having your gear tuned and just not lingering on stage and being able to break down and let the other bands go on. A good show starts with having a great attitude and everybody kind of working together, and that's where we're at before we leave home, and that's where we're at when we leave the venue, you know. Holy shit, it's Crazy Cajun. We got to give him some music. It's Crazy Cajun! Yeah, we ain't seen him in a while. Well, at least I have not. Thank you for stopping by, brother. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. All you guys fucking rock. So tomorrow I have some studio work. I don't think that I'll be back for tomorrow's show. I don't. So for the next few weeks, as I mentioned, on Wednesdays and Thursdays, I've got some studio work across town and doing some different stuff. So I won't have the opportunity to do one of the nights. But expect me each and every weekday. We'll be here each and every weekday from Monday to Friday. Otherwise, for more episodes of William versus the World.